Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you are all fine. Stay home, stay safe. Don't go outside. Follow the COVID precautions. In this pandemic situation, our Samagra Siksha have a great opportunity to learn classes through online. So you can use this opportunity and learn well in your home. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Anlakshmi Prasanna, working as English teacher in KGBV Bollapalli, Guntur district. In previous section, I explained about noun phrase. In first lesson, grammar topic, a noun phrase. So I hope you are all understand the topic, noun phrase. I repeat once again to remember you what is noun phrase. So students, listen carefully. This is the most important. Listen carefully. So noun phrase. Noun phrase. You already know the definition of noun. Noun is a naming word. It tells about name of a person, place, thing. You know, phrase. Phrase is a group of words which does not make complete sense. I repeat once again. Phrase is a group of words which does not make complete sense. It gives some sense. It gives some sense, but not complete sense. So if we add subject and verb to the phrase, it gives complete sense. We already discussed this topic in previous section. I remember once you children carefully, listen carefully. So phrase, a group of words which does not make complete sense. That is called phrase. Noun phrase. Noun phrase. Noun phrase. A noun phrase, it tells about, adds about, and gives extra information about noun. For example, she saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man. Here, man is most important word in that line, in that sentence. So, a bald, fat, middle-aged, it describes about noun. This is called noun phrase. I hope you are all remember the noun phrase. And I also explained about the order of preference to the adjective. One or more adjectives we have, we give preference. How can we give preference? First is determiners. In the determiners, articles, demonstrative adjectives, possessive adjectives, quantitative adjectives, numerical adjectives. And second one is opinion. Beautiful, lovely, good, delicious, expensive. And third one is size, large, huge, long, small. And fourth one is age, young, old, new, ancient, modern. Fifth one is shape, round or square or triangle. And sixth one is color. So red, black, orange. And seventh one is origin. Origin like means Indian or African or Australian. And eighth one is material. Material means gold, silver, paper. And ninth one is purpose. Purpose means verbs. Verb king form and purpose. This is the order of adjectives. We give preference in this order. We already completed this topic in previous section. So listen. So remember you. Now I am going to explain it about noun phrase in apposition. Noun phrase in apposition. Children, look at the screen. Look at the following sentence and observe the underlined part in each sentence. First sentence, Kamala, her eldest daughter, a widow, got up reluctantly. So here Here, Kamala is noun and her eldest daughter, a widow, is noun phrase. So, noun is used to refer another noun. It is called noun in apposition. Here, noun phrase is used to refer another noun. Another noun means Kamala. Kamala it is called noun phrase in apposition. Noun phrase in apposition. Next, second one. Don't you remember Vimala? District Collector Nambiya's eldest daughter. Nambiya's eldest daughter. Here the underline part District Collector Nambiya's eldest daughter. సో ఒక నౌన్ గురించి మరొక నౌన్ ఫ్రేజ్ ప్రిఫర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే దాన్ని మనం నౌన్ ఫ్రేజ్ ఇన్ అపోజిషన్ అంటాం. సో ఫస్ట్ అండర్లైన్ వర్డ్స్ లో హర్ ఎల్డెస్ట్ డాటర్ ఏ విడో. హర్ ఎల్డెస్ట్ డాటర్ ఏ విడో. ఇది ఎవరిని రిఫర్ చేస్తుంది? కమలాని రిఫర్ చేస్తుంది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ మనం నౌన్ ఫ్రేజ్ ఇన్ అపోజిషన్. నెక్స్ట్, Vimala, District Collector Nambiya's eldest daughter. Vimala, here Vimala means noun and District Collector Nambiya's eldest daughter, noun phrase. So, ikkada Vimala ani noun phrase refer chestundi kabatti this is called noun phrase in apposition. I hope you are all understand noun phrase in apposition. So, now I am going to rewrite the following sentences using noun phrase in apposition. Here, first one, Mahesh is my elder brother. He lives in Delhi. Here, we give two sentences. One is, Mahesh is my elder brother. And second one is, he lives in Delhi. We give two sentences. One is Mahesh is my elder brother. Second one is he lives in Delhi. So now we frame these two sentences into single sentence. Now we frame these two sentences into single sentence. So first of all, we have two subjects is there, Mahesh, and first sentence subject is Mahesh and second sentence subject is he. So we frame these two sentences into one sentence. So we don't in oka sentence lo nandu rendu ఆబ్జెక్ట్లు ఉండవు మనకి. సో కనుక సెకండ్ సెంటెన్స్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రనౌన్ ఏంటి అక్కడ? హీ. దాన్ని రిమూవ్ చేస్తాను. సో ఫస్ట్ సెంటెన్స్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి మహేష్ ఈజ్ మై ఎల్డర్ బ్రదర్ అండ్ సెకండ్ సెంటెన్స్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి హీ లివ్స్ ఇన్ ఢిల్లీ. So we frame these two sentences into single sentence using noun phrase in apposition. So first of all, we want to remove pronoun in second sentence subject he. And then after we write to Mahesh, my elder brother. Here I ask one question. Why don't we use is? So is an helping verb or auxiliary verb. It is not in phrase. So is helping verbs in gani manam phrase lo use cheyam kabatti then we remove is, then we write Mahesh my elder brother. Mahesh my elder brother lives in Delhi. Mahesh my elder brother lives in Delhi. Here Mahesh is noun and my elder brother refers to noun Mahesh. This is called noun phrase in apposition. Next one, look at the children's. Second one is, Sarojini Naidu is properly known as the Nightingale of India. She wrote many poems in English. Who wrote many poems in English? Sarojini Naidu. Who wrote many poems in English? Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu is popularly known as the Nightingale of India. She wrote many poems in English. Here we have two sentences. One is Sarojini Naidu is popularly known as the Nightingale of India, and second sentence is she wrote many poems in English. Then we frame these two sentences into single sentence. Then we write first Sarojini Naidu. and we remove helping verb is. Why? Because there is no helping verb in phrases. Sarojini Naidu, after that, the Nightingale of India. Here, the Nightingale of India. Who is Nightingale of India? Sarojini Naidu. Wrote many poems in English. She. We remove she because in every sentence we don't written in two subjects. We wrote only one subject. That is called Sarojini Naidu. Then we remove second sentence subject she. Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, wrote many poems in English. Next one. Rabindranath Tagore is called Gurudev. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. I repeat once again, children. Rabindranath Tagore is called Gurudev. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. Here we have two sentences. Rabindranath Tagore is called Gurudev, and second sentence is he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. So we frame these two sentences into single sentence. First of all, we remove second sentence subject he, and after that we remove first sentence helping verb. Then we write Rabindranath Tagore, the Gurudev. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. I repeat once again, children. Rabindranath Tagore, Gurudev, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. So observe this, children. Here, Rabindranath Tagore and Gurudev. Gurudev is single sentence, single word. It is called noun. Then we called this sentence is noun in apposition. We don't call this is noun phrase in apposition. We call this sentence is noun in apposition. Okay, na? Children, listen carefully. Rabindranath Tagore, Gurudev, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. Rabindranath Tagore, the Gurudev, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. This is called noun in apposition. This sentence is called noun in apposition. And fourth one, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is located in Nepal. I repeat once again, children. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is located in Nepal. Here we have two sentences. One is Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is located in Nepal. Second sentence. So then we frame these two sentences into single sentence using of noun phrase in apposition. So Mount Everest is the subject. Here Mount Everest is known as the highest peak in the world. Mount Everest and highest peak in world and these two similar meanings. So Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is located in Nepal. Then we write using noun phrase in apposition. Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world. Then we remove helping verb, auxiliary verb, because there is no auxiliary verb in phrases. Children, listen carefully. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is located in Nepal. So then we frame into single sentence by using noun phrase in apposition. Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, is located in Nepal. Then we remove second sentence subject it. Then we write is located in Nepal. I hope you are all understand the noun phrase in apposition. So I repeat once again, noun phrase in apposition. A noun phrase is used to refer another noun. A noun phrase is used to refer another noun. It is called noun phrase in apposition. అంటే ఒక నౌన్ గురించి మరొక నౌన్ ఫ్రేజ్ కనుక రెఫర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే దాన్ని మనం నౌన్ ఫ్రేజ్ ఇన్ అపోజిషన్ అంటాం. I hope you are all understand the Topic noun phrase in apposition. Noun phrase, and in this lesson we discussed about noun phrase, phrase, noun phrase, noun phrase in apposition. I hope you are all understand the lesson, understand the topic noun phrase and noun phrase in apposition. Now we are going to discuss about listening passage in the lesson. In the lesson, the tattered blanket. So children saw the screen. Listen to your teacher. She will read an announcement on radio and then answer the following questions. So this is the announcement in radio. An announcement on the radio. Prashant, a 13-year-old boy, has been missing since last Sunday. Prashant, a 13-year-old boy, has been missing since last Sunday. Children, listen carefully. Now I am going to read listening passage. An announcement on the radio. Prashant, a 13-year-old boy, has been missing since last Sunday. The boy is in blue trousers and pink t-shirt. The boy is in the blue trousers and pink t-shirt. He can speak Telugu, Hindi and English. He can speak Telugu and Hindi and English. He has fair complexion. He is fond of movies. Fond ante most interesting. His parents are much worried about him. His parents are much worried about him. Whoever finds Prashant will be rewarded. Whoever finds Prashant will be rewarded. You may contact the sub-inspector of police, Vijayanagar, Tirunantapuram. Something mobile number is there given in brackets. So I repeat once again, children, this is an announcement on the radio. This is in our textbook. This is in our textbook. So this is the listening passages. Listening passages. Page number 108. An announcement on the radio. Prashant, a 13-year-old boy, has been missing since last Sunday. The boy is in blue trousers and pink t-shirt. He can speak Telugu, Hindi and English, has fair complexion. He is fond of movies. His parents are much worried about him. Whoever finds Prashant will be rewarded. You may contact the sub-inspector of police, Vijayanagar, Tirunantapuram. Something mobile number has been written in brackets. So now I am going to ask some questions based on this paragraph. So first question, what is the announcement about? What is the announcement about? You already know what is the announcement about. The announcement is about the missing of 13-year-old boy Prashant. 13-year-old boy Prashant. Announcement దేని గురించి ఇస్తున్నారు మనకి? Missing, ఒక 13-year-old boy missing గురించి ఇచ్చారు. What are the features of Prashant? అంటే features అంటే తను ఎలా ఉన్నాడు, ఏం వేసుకొని ఉన్నాడు అని. We already have in second line, first line, ending of first line. The boy is in blue trousers and pink t-shirt. He has an fair complexion. చూడటానికి బాగుంటాడు. So where do you generally listen to such announcements? Do you hear this type of announcement in any places? Children, do you remember? Do you hear this type of announcements? Yes, we generally listen to such announcements in crowded spaces like bus stops, markets. These announcements we hear in like bus stops and markets. Think of some announcements you may make or listen at school. Do you listen these type of announcements in your schools? And think some announcements you may make or listen at schools. A boy from the class of a school assembly says, my school bag is missing. It is red. It consists of 6 textbooks, 10 notebooks, a compass box, and my lunch box. Whoever finds my bag will be rewarded with 5-star chocolate. You may contact me at class 8, section A. My name is Vinay Kumar. So, do you hear this type of announcement in your school? I hope you are all hear this type of announcements. Your friend miss their bag and their lunch box and their bottles, their bag and their lunch box. They miss it. These type of announcements you hear. What are the other ways to trace the missing persons or things? సో ఇలా అనౌన్స్మెంట్ కాకుండా ఇంకా అదర్ వేస్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా అంటే మిస్సింగ్ పర్సన్స్ కానీ థింగ్స్ కానీ మనం మిస్ అయినవి మనం ట్రేస్ చేసుకోవడానికి మనం మళ్ళీ తిరిగి రాబట్టుకోవడానికి ఈ అనౌన్స్మెంట్ కాకుండా ఇంకా ఏమైనా అదర్ వేస్ ఉన్నాయా చూడండి. స్టికింగ్ పోస్టర్స్ అండ్ వాల్స్. స్టికింగ్ పోస్టర్స్ అండ్ వాల్స్. Do you saw any type of posters, missing posters in your any places? Generally, we find bus stations and railway stations. Some posters have, this is our friend, this is our boy. She is wearing red t-shirt. కనపడిన వారికి ఇంత ఇస్తామని సో అనౌన్స్మెంట్స్ ఇస్తూ ఉంటారు కదా, పోస్టర్స్ స్టిక్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు కదా, అంటిస్తూ ఉంటారు కదా. We generally see this type of posters in railway stations and bus stations. Sticking posters on walls, giving announcements in newspapers. Newspapers లో కూడా మనం this type of announcements చూస్తూ ఉంటాం కదా. Announcing on TV. Publishing pamphlets publish చేయటం రాంచటం are the other ways to trace the missing persons or things. ఇవి అదర్ వేస్, మిస్సింగ్ పర్సన్స్ కానీ థింగ్స్ కానీ మనం ట్రేస్ చేసడానికి అదర్ వేస్ ఏమున్నాయంటే ఇవే ఏంటి మనకి అన్ అనౌన్స్మెంట్ ఆన్ ద రేడియో. దేని గురించి? ఒక బాయ్ మిస్ అయిన దాని గురించి ఒక అనౌన్స్మెంట్ రేడియోలో ఇచ్చారు. సో ఇలా రేడియో అనౌన్స్మెంట్ కాకుండా అదర్ వేస్, వాట్ ఆర్ ద అదర్ వేస్ టు ట్రేస్ ద మిస్సింగ్ పర్సన్ ఆర్ ప్లేస్ థింగ్, మిస్సింగ్ పర్సన్ ఆర్ థింగ్. సో స్టికింగ్ పోస్టర్స్ ఆన్ వాల్స్, giving announcements in newspapers, announcing on TV, publishing pamphlets. So these are the other ways to trace the missing persons or things. I hope children, do you understand these listening passages? An announcement on the radio. This announcement is about a missing boy. In this paragraph, they tell about what are the features of boy and what languages he can speak, and you may contact. Do you find any place this boy? You may contact Sub Inspector of Police Vijayanagar, Tirunanthapuram. Some mobile number is given. So generally we find this type of announcements in radios and bus stations, railway stations, markets, and crowd peoples. We hear these type of announcements. What are the other ways to trace the missing persons or things? Sticking posters on the wall, giving announcements in newspapers, announcing on TV, publishing pamphlets. These are the other ways to trace the missing persons or things. I hope you are all understand the story, understand the paragraph. Now I am going to explain about glossary in the lesson. In the lesson reading B, my mother. Children, listen carefully. Utilize this opportunity Learn very well. In this pandemic situation, this is the most important to all of you. Don't waste your time. Follow all online classes and learn very well. Stay home. In My Mother poem, children's are the screen. We have glossary. Midst, the middle part of something while something is happening. Hover, remain in the air. Hum, sing a tune with lips closed. అమ్మ వాళ్ళు పాడుతూ ఉంటారు కదా, మనం బాత్రూంలోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు అలా అని పాడుతూ ఉంటారు కదా, హమ్మింగ్. రాకింగ్, moving gently backward and forward. Rocking, moving gently forward and backward. Cradle, a small bed for baby which can be pushed gently from side to side. Cradle, uyala, a small bed for baby which can be pushed gently from side to side. Shirley, a small white or orange flowers that bloom in autumn. Float, move slowly. Scent, pleasant smell or perfume or good smell. Distant is an adjective. This means far away in space or time. Far away in space or time. Stillness is noun. This means the quality of being quiet and not moving. The quality of being quiet and not moving. Gaze means it is a noun. This means look steadily at something or somebody. I repeat once again, children, listen carefully. Midst, the midst is noun. This means the middle part of something while something is happening. Hover is a verb. This means remain in the air. Hum is a verb. Sing a tune with lips closed. Rocking is a verb. It means moving gently backward and forward. Cradle means a small bed for baby which can be pushed gently from side to side. It is noun. Shirley, it is noun. A small white or orange flowers that bloom in autumn. Float is a verb. This means move slowly. Scent is a noun. This means pleasant smell or perfume or good smell. Distant is an adjective. This means far away in space or time. Stillness is a noun. This means the quality of being quiet and not moving. Gaze is a noun. This means look steadily at something or somebody. Do you remember the poem My Mother? This poem was written by the greatest poet Ravindranath Tagore. He is popularly known as Vishwakavi and Gurudev. He was the founder of Santiniketan, an experimental school. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for his Gitanjali, the Song of Offerings. Each of his poems reflects Indian vision and love towards in the motherland. So he is considered the voice of Indian heritage and spiritualism. So this is the poem about my mother, about the mother. I cannot remember my mother. In Janti, Tagore mother passed away when he was young. In this poem, he expressed, children, I am going to give a brief explanation about the poem My Mother. In this poem, he expresses his inability to actually recall the face or the features of his mother. Whose mother? Ravindranath Tagore's mother. The sight of playthings reminds the poet of tune hummed by his mother. The tune reminds him, but often smell or a tune triggered off in reminds him the happy moments that he shared with his mother. Memory. When he looks at his playthings, he seems to be able. He hear a tune, a lullaby that would be sung, perhaps, as she rocked her baby to sleep. Tagore also recalls the tune as he touches his old toys. As he touches his old toys. తనకు కూడా ఆ సాంగ్ తన ఓల్డ్ టాయ్స్ టచ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ సాంగ్ గుర్తొస్తూ ఉంటుంది. In autumn, the shirley trees in Bengal blossoms into fragrant teeny flowers, which are used to worship. His mother would string the flowers for the morning puja at the temple. So powerful was the fragrance of the shirley flowers that they would trigger off happy memories of his mother. Trigger of happy mothers of his mother. సో ఆ ఫ్లవర్స్ యొక్క స్మెల్ తను చూసినా కూడా తన మదర్ మెమరీస్ తనలో హ్యాపీ మెమరీస్ వస్తాయి. Tagore also recalls the quiet gaze of his mother when he looks at the vast expanse of the clear blue sky. Tagore also తను ఆ సాంగ్ విన్నప్పుడే కాకుండా ఆ షాలీ ఫ్లవర్స్ స్మెల్ వచ్చినప్పుడే కాకుండా సో ఆ క్లియర్ డిస్టెంట్ అంటే దూరం, డిస్టెన్స్ మీన్స్ ఫార్ అవే ఇన్ స్పేస్ ఆర్ టైం, అంటే దూరంగా ఉన్నటువంటి స్కై వైపు చూస్తూ ఉన్నప్పుడు కూడా తన మదర్ ఫేస్ తనకి కనపడుతున్నట్లుగా తను ఇమాజిన్ చేసుకుంటున్నాడు. సో తన మదర్ని గుర్తు తెచ్చుకుంటున్నాడు. Simplicity and eloquence reveal the deep-rooted emotional bonding the poet had with mother. So ఇవన్నీ తన మదర్తో ఉన్నట్లు, తన మదర్తో ఉన్న హ్యాపీ మూమెంట్స్ని తనకి గుర్తు చేస్తుంది. It makes us realize the great impact her quiet dignity had the poet even as the tender age. This poem also very soft. Nothing loud, nothing stark, only soothing suggestions of mother's memory hingered on fragments and the morning puja and the old melody. So children, now I am going to explain the glossary in the lesson reading C, that titled Letter to a Friend. You already listened the lesson, the letter to a friend in previous sections. I remember once this lesson, Ramesh and Suresh are friends. This is the letter. Ramesh lives in Hyderabad. This is the letter Ramesh wrote to Suresh to apologize for not meeting. And he remembered all his childhood days in the letter. Nowadays, we cannot find letters. We only find emails or WhatsApps or Facebooks. We had so many social medias to express our use. But in olden days, this is the best way to express our feelings. What is the best way to express our feelings? Letters. We only find in examination these letters, examination pattern. There is no letters. In my childhood days also, we want to share our feelings. This is the best way to express their feelings, to write a letter. Suresh came to Hyderabad on some personal work. He asked Ramesh to meet him at certain place, but Ramesh could not meet him so Suresh meet Amanadu, Ramesh could not meet. For this, Ramesh felt sorry and write a letter to Suresh. In this letter, firstly, Ramesh says to apologize to Suresh for not meeting in Hyderabad. He was explained his busy life and how they lived in busy life, how they lived in city life. There is no happiness in their life. Ramesh and his wife, they both are worked in software companies. They don't have time to sit together and talk together. They have child. They took their child into baby care center in early morning and they came back to home. They pick up their child. They came with so faded faces. There is no time to share their views. There is no happiness. They think like computers. They work like computers. So now I am going to explain the glossary of the lesson. Apologize. Apologize. It is a verb. Say sorry for doing something wrong. Fairy tales. Fairy tales is a noun. Stories about fairies and magics. Do you know fairy tales? Our grandmothers and grandfathers told us fairy tales at bedtime. Warriors. Warriors is a noun. Persons who fight in battle or war. Persons who fight in battle or war. Faded. Faded is an adjective. It means less bright. Hardly. Hardly is an adverb. This means almost no, almost not, almost none. Distinguished. Distinguished is an adjective. It means extremely unpleasant and unexpected. Another meaning, gilli tanda. Gilli tanda, it is a noun. This means karra. Karra means tanda. Billa means gilli in Telugu. A rural sport of India played with a short stick and long stick. Do you play this type of game? గిల్లి టండా, కర్ర బిల్ల ఆట. చిన్నప్పుడు మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా ఆడారా? చిన్న కర్ర పుల్ల, పెద్ద కర్ర పుల్ల, చిన్న కర్ర పుల్లని పెద్ద కర్ర పుల్లతో కొడుతూ ఉంటారు. దిస్ ఇస్ fantastic game. Apartment, a set of rooms for living in, usually built in stairs. In cities we find so many apartments. Room, empty space, it is noun. Unheeded, it is an adjective. It is an adjective. This means heard, seen, or noticed but then ignored. Next, appreciated. Appreciated. Appreciated is a verb. This means recognize the good qualities. Caring. Caring, it is a verb. It means feeling that something is important. Next one, moment. Moment is a noun. This means time or occasion. I hope you are all understand the glossary. And next, children's saw the screen. Now I am going to explain it about reading comprehension. This is the most important for your examination pattern. Then they give one paragraph and ask some questions. This is the most important paragraph. So listen carefully. Don't waste your time. Follow COVID precautions and learn well. So reading comprehension. This is the most important. This is the most important in your examination pattern. So listen, children, saw the passage. This is in our textbook, page number 4. Page number 4. I am going to read the paragraph. Listen carefully. And after that, I am going to asking some questions about in that paragraph. So, she saw a bold, fat, middle-aged man walking in through the gate. "Oh, Gopi," she said in her grating voice. "Why this sudden, unexpected visit?" "Kamala, who is it?" her mother asked loudly from the veranda. "Gopi," the man said. "There was meeting in Thiruvananthapuram. I just dropped in on my way back." "Who, Kamala? Who is it?" There was a note of alarm in Amma's voice. So this is the paragraph in the lesson, the tattered blanket. Childrens, we already know, we already hear the story, the tattered blanket. This story seems how, however, the nowadays, however the relationships are going, there is no relationships. There is no relationship, there is no love, there no love and no happiness in that families. Nowadays we don't find any happy families. They want only properties. In this lesson, Gopi want to only his property. He does not want his amma's wealth, amma's health. He does not remember his mother. So this is the very sad story. Nowadays, this was happening. So many people leave their parents in old age homes. This is very sad. So, children, this is the paragraph in the lesson, tattered blanket. She saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man walking in through the gate. Oh, Gopi, she said in her grating voice. Why this sudden, unexpected visit? Kamala, who is it? Her mother asked loudly from the veranda. Gopi, the man said. There was a meeting in Thiruvananthapuram. I just dropped in on my way back. Who, Kamala? Who is it? There was a note of alarm in Amma's voice. So, I hope you are all understand the story. Now, I am going to ask some questions based on this paragraph, based on this passage. So first question, describe the man who was walking in through the gate. Describe the man who was walking in through the gate. This is the most important paragraph in your examination pattern. So listen carefully. Describe the man who was walking in through the gate. A man ఎలా ఉన్నాడో describe చేయమన్నారు. ఎలా ఉన్నారు? The man was bald, fat, middle-aged man. It is in first line. She saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man. So describe the man who was walking in through the gate. The man was bald, fat, middle-aged man. And second question, why was her voice unpleasant? Why was her voice unpleasant? Why was her voice unpleasant? Because she did not expect his visit. Moreover, she did not have any feelings for him. ఎందుకంటే తను వస్తాడని ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయలేదు. మోరోవర్ he did not have any feelings for him. తన మీద ఎలాంటి ప్రేమ, గోపికి కూడా వాళ్ళ మీద ఎటువంటి ప్రేమ లేదు కాబట్టి తనకు కూడా అందుకే అన్ప్లెజెంట్ వాయిస్. సో నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, who was Kamala? What do you know about her? Who was Kamala? You already know the story, the tattered blanket. Who was Kamala? Kamala was Gopi's sister. Kamala was Gopi's sister. She was a widow. What do you know about her? She was a widow. Why was there a note of alarm in Amma's voice? Amma voice lo enduku anta anxiety? There was a note of alarm in Amma's voice. She thought that Kamala was talking to a stranger. తనేమనుకుందంట, ఎవరో స్ట్రేంజర్తో, ఎవరో తెలియని వ్యక్తితో మాట్లాడుతుంది కమల అని. So next question. Where was Gopi coming from? Why did he go there? Children, listen carefully. I repeat the question. Where was Gopi coming from? Why did he go there? So Gopi coming from Tirunantapuram. Gopi coming from Tirunantapuram. He went there to attend a meeting. Why did he go there? To attend a meeting. Why did he go there? To attend a meeting. I hope you are all understand this paragraph and questions. I repeat once again, children, listen carefully. Describe the man who was walking in through the gate. అతను ఎలా ఉన్నాడు వచ్చిన వ్యక్తి? ఫ్యాట్, bald, fat, middle-aged man. Why was her voice unpleasant? తన వాయిస్ ఎందుకు అన్ప్లెజెంట్ గా ఉంది? Because he did not expect his visit. Who was Kamala? You already know the story. Who was Kamala? Kamala was Gopi's sister. What do you know about her? తన గురించి మీకేం తెలుసు? Kamala was a widow. Why was there a note of alarm in Amma's voice? Note of alarm in Amma's voice. Why was there note of alarm in Amma's voice? Because mother think, Amma think, Kamala talking with a stranger. Kamala talking with a stranger. Kamala talking with a stranger. Note of alarm means fear or worry. అంటే బాధపడటం, భయపడటం. ఎందుకంటే కమల ఎవరితోనో మాట్లాడుతుందని వాళ్ళ మదర్కి. వేర్ వాజ్ గోపి కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్? వై డిడ్ హీ గో దేర్? ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తున్నాడు తను? హీ వాజ్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ తిరువనంతపురం. వై డిడ్ హీ గో దేర్? హీ గో టు అటెండ్ ఏ మీటింగ్. టు అటెండ్ ఏ మీటింగ్. Children, these are the answers to that questions. Note down in our notebooks. First of all, write down this paragraph in your in your textbook page number 4. Write down the questions. Describe the man who was walking in through the gate. Second question, why was her voice unpleasant? Third question, who was Kamala? What do you know about her? And fourth question, why was there a note of alarm in Amma's voice? Fifth question, where was Gopi coming from? Why did he go there? These are the answers. Children, write down in our notebooks. This is the most important paragraph in our examination pattern. So now, children, saw the screen. Now I am going to ask another, I am going to read another paragraph. This is in our textbook page number 4. Paragraph number in the middle of the page. This is the most important. Children, saw the screen. I am going to read the passage. Amma is often like these years. She doesn't recognize anybody. Gopi's sister explained. But sometimes her memory is quite short. Then she asks me if you have sent any letter. I tell her everything is fine with you, Vimala and the kids. What is the point of telling her that you have not written for a year? Poor thing. I would not dream of making her unhappy. I got a promotion last year. After that, I am always on my toes. And there are chores quite often. I don't get any time to write letters. So this is in our textbook page number 4. Now I'm going to ask some questions based on this paragraph. What is the problem with Gopi's mother? Gopi's mother. Gopi's mother ki problem enti? Do you know? You already know. Gopi's mother suffers from loss of memory. But sometimes her memory is quite sharp. Sometimes our memory is quite sharp. కొన్నిసార్లు బాగా అన్ని గుర్తుంటాయి, కొన్నిసార్లు అసలు ఏమీ గుర్తుండవు. So Gopi's mother's problem ఏంటి? Gopi's mother suffers from loss of memory, but sometimes her memory is quite sharp. Second question. What would Gopi's mother usually ask her daughter about? What would Gopi's mother usually ask her daughter about? Gopi's mother would usually ask her daughter about Gopi's, his wife and children. Usually ask us, ఎప్పుడు అడుగుతూనే ఉంటుంది ఎవరి గురించి? Gopi wife, Gopi's children's గురించి. Who is more affectionate with the old woman, Gopi or his sister? Do you hear the story, The Tattered Blanket? So tell the answer to the question. Who is more affection with the old woman? Old woman and ఎవరు ఇక్కడ? Mother. Gopi or his sister? ఎవరు బాగా affectionate గా ఉంటున్నారు? Gopina, తన sister. So Gopi's sister is more affectionate with the old woman. Who would not dream of making the old woman unhappy? So తనని అన్హ్యాపీగా ఉంచకూడదు అనుకుంటుంది ఎవరు? Gopi's sister. Gopi's sister would not dream of making the old woman unhappy. Why does Gopi says that I am always on my toes? Here on my toes is an idiom. This means busy or ready to work. చాలా బిజీ. ఎందుకంట బిజీ అయిపోయాడు గోపి? It means be busy. On one toes is an idiom. It means be busy. Gopi got a promotion last year. He had to go on tours often. That's why he was quite busy on his toys. ఎందుకంటే తను బాగా బిజీ అయిపోయాడు. So he got promotion. So you have to find tours. He did not time to write letters. Find time to write letters to his mother. So children, write down these questions in our notebook. What is the problem with Gopi's mothers? What is the problem with Gopi's mothers? Gopi's mother suffers from loss of memory. What would Gopi's mother usually ask her daughter about? ఎవరి గురించి ఎప్పుడు అడుగుతూ ఉంటుంది? Usually asks about Gopi and his wife, children. Who is more affectionate with the old woman, Gopi or his sister? Do you know who is more affectionate? Gopi's sister. Who would not dream of making the old woman unhappy? Who would not dream of making old woman unhappy? Gopi's sister. Why does Gopi says that I am always on my toes? Here on my toes means idiom. This is an idiom. It means be busy. He got promotion last year. That's why he was quite busy on his toes. So write down the questions, children, in your notebook. Saw the screen. I am giving 2 answers to that questions. I hope you are all write down these questions. Now I am giving answers to that questions. Saw the screen and write down in your notebook. Children, this is the most important lesson in your examination. This is the most important paragraphs in each and every passage in this lesson is most important. So listen carefully, write down in your notebooks, and remember the story once again, The Tattered Blanket. Take your textbook and read the story 1 or 2 times. If you have find time, take your textbook and read the story 1 or 2 times. Textbook reading is the best process to learn English. I hope you are all understand this paragraph. Now I am going to read another paragraph. Sada screen, children. This is the most important paragraph. Gopi placed his briefcase on the thinna. He opened and it pulled out some hand cloths, files, and shaving set. Do you know my son Gopi? Do you know my son Gopi? Do you know my son Gopi? Amma asked him. He is in Delhi, a government officer. He has Kesari Yogam. He draws a salary of 2,500 rupees. Do you know him? Yes, I know him. This paragraph is in our textbook, page number 5 and page number 6. This is the most important paragraph. So children, go listen carefully. Gopi placed his briefcase on the thinna. He opened it and pulled out the contents, cloths, files, a shaving set. Do you know my son Gopi? Amma asked him. He is in Delhi, a government officer. He has Kesari Yogam. He draws a salary of 2,500 rupees. 2,500 rupees. Do you know him? Yes, I know him. I hope you are all understand the paragraph. Now I am going to ask some questions based on this paragraph. Children, take your notebook, write down the questions in your notebook. Saw the screen and write down the questions in your notebook. Where did Gopi place his briefcase? Where did Gopi place his briefcase? Where did Gopi place his briefcase? Do you find the answer in first line? Gopi placed his briefcase on the thinna. Next question. Children, write down these questions in your notebooks. What are the contents of his briefcase? Do you saw the answer on second line? What are the contents? A briefcase lo em unnai? Cloths, files, a shaving set. Next question. What did Amma ask him? Amma asked him whether he know her son Gopi. Here, the mother asked his son Gopi, do you know my son Gopi? How sad situation. Tana kodukuni tane, na koduku niku telusa ani adugutundi. So, Amma asked him whether he know her son Gopi. Next question. What was Gopi? What was Gopi. What was Gopi? Gopi was a government officer in Delhi. Delhi lo kada tana government officer. What is meant by Kesari Yogam? You already learned the meaning of Kesari Yogam in glossary. I repeat once again. Kesari Yogam means well settled. This is the Malayalam word Kesari Yogam. This means well settled. Amma said that her son had good luck. అమ్మ చెప్తుంది అనమాట వాళ్ళ సన్ గుడ్ లక్ మంచి గవర్నమెంట్ జాబ్ వచ్చింది తను వెల్ సెటిల్ అయ్యాడని చెప్తుంది. సో ఐ హోప్ యు ఆల్ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ passage questions. Childrens, now I am giving answers to these questions. Write down these answers. Where did Gopi place his briefcase? Gopi placed his briefcase on Tinna. What are the contents of his briefcase? The contents of his briefcase are clothes, files, a shaving set. Amma asked him whether he know her son Gopi. What did Amma ask him? Amma asked him whether he know her son Gopi. Next question. What was Gopi? Gopi was a government officer in Delhi. What is meant by Kesari Yogam? Kesari Yogam is a Malayalam word. It means well settled. It means well settled. Amma said that her son got good luck. Children, I hope you are all understand these passage questions. I hope you are all understand. Now I am going to give an assignment to you. Now I am going to give an assignment to you. What are the advantages and disadvantages of a joint family? What are the advantages and disadvantages of a joint family? I repeat once again. What are the advantages and disadvantages of joint family? So now I am going to ask some logical questions. When a letter begins, when a word begins with T, children write down in your notebooks. I am going to ask some questions. When a letter begins with T and end with T and has T in it. When a letter begins with T, when a word begins with T, end with T, and it has T in it, and it has T in it. I repeat once again. What begins with T, end with T, and has T in it? When a word, what word begin with T, end with T, and has T in it? I repeat once again, children, write down in your notebooks. What begins with T, end with T, and has a T in it? What begins with T? Which word begin with T and end with T, and T and it has a T in it? Now I am going to ask another question. Which English alphabet is a question? Which English alphabet letter is a question? I am going to repeat. Which English alphabet letter is a question? I hope you are all understand this section. Children, stay home, stay safe. Follow COVID precautions. Don't go outside. If you want to go outside, wear mask. Wash your hands properly. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you. We will meet in another section.